Malaria is a tropical disease that has killed millions of Nigerians over the years, according to the World Health Organization. Malaria is still an acute public health problem in Nigeria, as the country accounts for 25% of global infection. This week's edition of the program looks at the plan to end malaria in Nigeria. Hello there. Thank you for joining us on the program. This week, I'm Gloria Umezuke. Malaria is one of the leading cases of death, especially among children under the age of 5 and pregnant women, and is caused by parasites that are transmitted to people through the bites of infected mosquitoes. According to statistics, malaria is responsible for 11% of maternal deaths and 30% of childhood deaths. What is the plan to turn around these statistics? Well, we'll talk about that in our interview today. But first, what are the stories that made the headlines within the week from the nation's capital? Justice Binta Inyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday ordered Senator Eyinaya Abaribe to appear in court and explain why the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, was absent from court to face trial, warning that he may lose his bail bonds of 100 million naira each if he fails to produce him in court. Senator Abaribe and 2 others stood as sureties for Kanu as part of his bail conditions.
Either of 3 things. It's either a defendant appears in court when he's on bail, or his sureties must be invited to show cause, or failure of which they will have to forfeit the bail bond. And of course, the court will make a necessary order when the time comes in respect of the defendant who defaulted in appearing before the court.
The matter cannot go on in absentia. So, and the court want to find out where he is. And we told the court that we have filed an application compelling the Chief Army staff to produce him before this court. And that application has been slated for hearing on the 2nd of November 2017. It's coming up next November 2nd. So I informed the court. And I also informed the court about the danger, about making pronouncement that may preempt what will be the outcome of that suit.
President Muhammadu Buhari has submitted the 2018 to 2020 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the House of Representatives in a bid to ensure the timely passage of the 2018 budget. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, read the correspondence from the President during the plenary session of the House on Tuesday.
Pursuant to provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, the preparation towards the submission of 2018 budget to the National Assembly is progressing well. MTEF and FSP were prepared against the backdrop of a generally adverse global economic uncertainty, as well as physical challenges and recovery in the domestic economy, to ensure that planned spending is set at prudent and sustainable levels and is consistent with government's overall developmental objectives and inclusive growth. I hereby forward the 2018-2020 MTEF and FSP to the House of Representatives and trust that it will be kindly considered and approved expeditiously in order to bring the 2018 Federal Government of Nigerian budget preparation process to a timely closure.
The federal government has reached an agreement with the 36 state governments to dedicate 1% of the consolidated revenue account to the health sector. Governor Goswin Obaseki of Edo State told State House correspondents at the end of its National Economic Council meeting.
We got a commitment from almost all the states present of their commitment to ensuring that they will strengthen their primary healthcare system. There was a consensus in Council that the provision of the 2014 Act that we should contribute 1% of the consolidated revenue funds for healthcare was also raised. And it's the hope of council that this will commence from the next budget year. With that sort of funding available, we will not be solely reliant on international donor agencies or grants to fund our primary healthcare system to take care of issues such as eradication of polio and other non-communicable diseases.
The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, has announced the confirmation of 3 cases of monkeypox virus after a series of laboratory screening of samples at the World Health Organization laboratory in Dakar, Senegal.
Since our initial announcement, a total of 43 other suspected cases have been reported from 8 other states. These include Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ekiti, Lagos, Enugu, Nasarawa, Rivers, and FCT. Of these, 4 cases from Lagos State have been tested and confirmed to be negative for the monkeypox virus. We expect that many of these cases being reported from other states in Nigeria are not caused by monkeypox virus, but we shall continue to investigate all those cases that fit into the case definition.
All suspected cases that have been reported to date are doing well clinically. We haven't recorded any death, and all the cases still being managed are all doing well. Even before this confirmation, all the necessary public health measures have been put in place and will continue to be implemented. The Federal Ministry of Health, through the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, has established an emergency operations center and will continue to coordinate the response across states and test samples from all cases that fit the case definition.